These are almost all technique issues, and they are illustrations of how it is that a guy like me can teach this stuff, and especially on technique issues, it's real sublimated to me. I don't consciously think about it all that much, just from constant use and repetition, and I teach it to someone, and over the course of the lesson or the following lesson, the feedback loop I was talking about, it becomes apparent that there was something I didn't tell them. It's almost always a technique issue that happens with, and these situations that I'm going to deal with here are no different. They're technique issues, and it's stuff that I didn't say. So the first one has to do with, on Start Me Up, when you go from the C to the F. It was indicated in the fretboard diagram that you can see right here that on the F we keep it barred. When we play the C, we bar our first finger. When we go to the F, we keep the bar, even though we don't need 2 of the 3 strings to be played by that finger. So, but it's more economical and increases speed and lessens the potential for error. And so, I'll turn sideways so you can see this. When I go to the C, my finger's barred. When I go to the F, the finger stays barred. I could play the F like this, but then I would have to lift up the finger to go back to the C. And that's, see that movement there? As opposed to this. Much less potential for error, smoother sounding, and the best way to play it. So, the second issue that came up was my hand position, which is totally wrong. But there are reasons for that, which I'm going to explain right now. The proper hand position, most of the time, classical guitarists especially will teach this hand position where you have your thumb on the back of the neck like this, and your wrist is bent, fingers arched. To use that hand position requires accuracy in the right hand. I can only hit those 3 strings. If I hit more than that, you have a big mess. Now, this kind of accuracy and precision in the right hand is not conducive to rock and roll. There's an aggressive quality to rock. So the way that I deal with this is I spend a lot of thought and energy muting strings. So when I'm playing the C, I got my hand totally wrong, but I'm using my thumb to mute the 6th and the 5th string. So if I hit them, they're muted. Hear that? In this particular position on the 5th fret, you got to be careful, because if you put your thumb right over the fret bar, hear that? You're going to hear a harmonic there. So you need to position your thumb like this or like this to avoid that. The first string I mute with the flesh of this finger right here. I can hit all 6 strings, and you only hear the 3 strings of the triad. So when you put that together with keeping the bar down, you can be aggressive with the right hand. You don't have to be accurate, see? That's the deal with the hand position. I do a lot of muting, especially with triads. When you hear stuff like Cut the Cake by the Average White Band, you hear this that kind of thing. Most of all, not all of that, but most of it is triads. And you have to have this aggressive thing with the right hand. So in order to pull that off, you got to mute strings with your left hand. It's a real important technique, and presupposes quite a bit of control and self-awareness for the left hand. So something you can work on, may not be something that you can pull off right away, but give it some thought.